Hello everyone, my name is Ananksha Alamyan and welcome back to my channel. If you've been following my journey so far, you'd probably know that I used to work as an assistant professor in civil engineering at NIT Silchar. But in September 2021, I quit my job and now I'm a full-time writer. As of May 2022, it has been 8 months since I quit my job and I've embraced the self-employed life. And in today's video, I want to talk about 8 lessons I learned from 8 months of being self-employed. If you are someone who's been caught in that cycle of doubting yourself and wondering whether or not you should quit your job to take the plunge, or if you are in general curious about what it is like to live a self-employed life, then this video is just for you. These 8 lessons that I learned have shaped my journey immensely and have influenced so many decisions that I have taken. It took me several months to learn these lessons, and I'm very happy that I have come to this stage where I can talk to you and share about these lessons so they can help you in your journey as well. So without further ado, let's get started. The first and the most important lesson that I learned is that passion doesn't last, discipline does. So no matter how deeply you love your passion, there will come a time when it will start feeling like work. See, I quit my job because I had always wanted to become a writer. I had always nurtured this dream that I would someday be a full-time writer and spend all my day writing and reading. But after I started working as a writer, within a few months, writing started feeling like a job for me. And it's completely natural because, after all, when you are self-employed, you have to think about paying the bills. You just can't simply think of only passion or only how much you love. You have to strategize, you have to plan, you have to take care of your financials. There are so many things involved in the self-employed life, and it's not always easy. In fact, it is easy to lose your love that you have for your passion. And in those situations, discipline can save you. If I only relied on my love for writing, I would probably have given up the moment writing started to feel like work. But at this stage of my life, I am beyond that, beyond all these delusions that only passion will save me. And I know discipline and consistency are the only things that I need to succeed. And this is true no matter in what profession you are. If you have discipline, you are going to succeed. It doesn't matter how passionate you are or how deeply you are in love with your new profession. There will come a time when this love, this intense passion will fade. And during those times, only consistency and discipline will help you. Number 2, it is very easy to get addicted. One of the biggest perks of being self-employed is that you see the direct impact of your work on your life. If you work extra hard, you know it's possible to earn extra money. In fact, in my case, I know that the longer I spend in front of a computer, the more money I can earn, the more wealth I can accumulate, the more impact I can create. And there is no limit to this because after I reach a certain level, I would obviously want more because that is how human nature works. We get into this hamster wheel of wanting more and more and more, and before we know it, we are stuck. When you have a job, you have certain deadlines, you have certain expectations from you, and you know when to stop working. But when you are self-employed, especially if you're doing something that you really, really love, it is very easy to get addicted to work. But obviously, like everything else in life, too much of anything is not good. And in this case, if you work extra hard, you might get burnt out, you might lose motivation, you might have a physical or emotional breakdown that you have no control over. To make sure you don't get into situations like this, it is very, very, very important to maintain a healthy work-life balance. For me, I am very, very strict about not working on the weekends. I take 2 days off every week so that I can relax, unwind and rejuvenate. In addition to that, I don't turn on my laptop before 3:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. because I need the morning and the entire early afternoon for myself so I can, do things that truly make me happy and help me appreciate the little joys of life. When you're self-employed, you need to have some strict checks in place so you don't get lost into this cycle of working too much and feeling burnt out and losing motivation, and then again starting from scratch. And for that, it is very, very, very important to take breaks and take care of your mental health. Number 3, your biggest enemy could be your envy. When you are in a company, you know what you need to do to get a promotion. You know what you need to do to get a pay raise. But when you're self-employed, there are no rules or no boundaries like this. And it's very easy to feel jealous or envious of people whose lives you see on social media. You might see pictures of your friends who are working in some big corporation, going on expensive foreign vacations, and then you might start doubting yourself if you took the right decision or if you need to work even harder to make more money. Or you might even see people in your own field that are doing better than you, and you might feel that you are being left behind and you're not working hard enough. When you nurture that seed of envy in your heart, it can grow darker and it can consume everything you have. It can actually make you lose sight of the very reason why you quit your job to become self-employed. And you don't want this toxicity in your life, trust me. I have been through this phase myself where I used to see my friends who were working in big companies and I used to feel, what am I doing differently? Why am I not as rich or as fortunate as them? But you need to understand that the life that you see on social media of a person does not reflect what their life is like in real life. For example, my friends who work in corporate might be working 12-hour days, and whereas I am only working like 4 to 5 hours in a day. Very few people can afford that luxury of working 5 hours a day and still having a nice balanced life. But when I'm getting envious of someone, it's very easy to lose sight of the good things in my life. And this envy can be very dangerous when you're self-employed. So it's really, really important to stay in touch with your own goals and also remember that there is no point being jealous of anyone. There is no point in feeling bad because someone else appears to have a better life. Everyone has their own journey and you are going to do great things in your own time. So don't let envy take root in your heart because it can take you to the darkest of places that you can't even imagine. Number 4, looking back will only hurt. I had a very high paying and stable permanent central government job. But I quit it. I quit the whole stability and everything to embrace this life of uncertainty. And I know that if I keep looking back, I know that if I keep thinking if I made the right decision, I will never be able to fully move ahead because I'll always be holding on to the past. And this is true for every self-employed person. It is natural that your life as a self-employed person won't always be a upward curve. You will have ups and downs in your life and you will have days where you feel like you made the worst decision in the world. But on these days, it's important to remind yourself that instead of focusing on the problems or instead of focusing on what you left behind, it's important to focus on what lies ahead. So you know that the future can be bright if you work hard for it. But if you despair and if you start thinking that you made the wrong decision, then there is no way to move ahead and it can be a very hard hole to climb out of. So if you ever feel regret that you might have made the wrong decision, I'm going to leave you with a quote by Ratan Tata. I don't believe in taking right decisions. I believe in taking a decision and then making it right. That quote never fails to inspire me. The 5th lesson is that you need to have other hobbies. See, when you are making your passion your profession, you are going to be putting insane pressure on your creativity. For example, when I decided to become a full-time writer, I needed to write so I could pay my bills. And like I mentioned in the first point, it is easy to lose interest in your passion. It's easy to feel that fire burning in your heart go dimmer and dimmer day by day. And for that reason, you stop enjoying whatever you enjoyed in the first place. To make sure this doesn't happen, it is very, very important to have other hobbies. And it's very important to have things in your life that you do not for money, but for the pure pleasure of it. I have adopted several new hobbies after I became a full time writer just so that I don't feel frustrated and I don't feel like I'm working all the time. I read a lot more than I did before. I go on nature walks, I go on photo walks, and I've also started an Instagram page for my dog. In fact, if you enjoy cute dog videos, I'm sure you would enjoy my dog Lucifer's Instagram profile. It is filled with cute reels, and I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can follow if you enjoy dog videos on the internet. Number 6, it's easy to get lost in extremes. Since you don't have a boss, you don't have a fixed timeline as a self employed person, you might fall into either of these two extremes. A, working too hard, which we already covered in the previous point, and B, working too little. Because you know you have full control over your time, no one is keeping guard on what you are doing and when you're doing it. It's very easy to slip into that mode where you're always in your comfort zone and you're not doing anything but watching Netflix and chilling all day. And if you do that, then it's very easy to lose track of your goals and then just remain in the comfort zone forever. To make sure this doesn't happen, I always make a plan for the next day before I sleep so that when I wake up in the morning, I know all the tasks that need to be done and I also know when these tasks need to be accomplished. So time blocking your day helps, journaling helps, and definitely make a schedule, like make monthly, weekly and daily goals so you can keep reviewing them and revisiting them whenever you feel like you have done enough work and you can chill, like watch Netflix and chill all night. Which brings me to the 7th point: appraisals and salary raises are important. See, when a person is working in a job, they usually have regular appraisals where their work is reviewed, and based on how well they have worked, they get a salary raise. When you're self employed, there is nothing and no one to do this for you, and it's very easy to lose sight of how far you have come and also lose sight of how far you've left to go. To make sure this doesn't happen, you need to conduct regular appraisals. As I mentioned in the previous point, have weekly goals, have yearly goals and monthly goals, and then keep reviewing them every time that period of time is over so that you know all the progress that you have made. You also understand what mistakes you committed and how you can learn from them and move ahead. These appraisals will help you appreciate your journey much more, and they'll also make you feel excited about achieving that next goal. Now, talking about salary raises, how can you do that if you don't want to take on new projects or if you don't want to take on new clients? The way that I do it is I always have a fixed percentage of my income that I always invest. But every time I feel that I have done something amazing, I give myself a raise. I take out a small portion of my savings or make use of an extra income that I earned to buy something really nice for myself. This can be some physical thing or it can be an experience like going on a vacation. These aren't technically salary raises, but these are like small gifts to myself for fulfilling my goals, and these help me stay excited for my journey. And the last point is, this is also the most important point that I learned so far, is that when you are on the verge of quitting your job, people are going to tell you all sorts of negative things. And most of these things, they don't come because the people are malicious or because they want you to fail. No, these concerns will come from people who are your well-wishers because they are truly not sure how this new turn of events will impact your life. They might tell you all the ways you fail. They might tell you all the ways your dreams will just shatter and leave you heartbroken. But they are also the people who have never done this themselves. So they legit have no idea of what they are talking about. They are only projecting their insecurities onto you, and this projection comes from a place of care and love for you. So it's very important to be strong, to also forgive these people and understand that their advice comes from a place of scarcity. So it's very important to not get affected by this and have faith in yourself and be super strong so that nothing anyone says can impact your decisions. So these were the 8 lessons that I learned in my 8 months of being self-employed. I'm very curious to know which of these lessons resonated with you the most. And I would also love to know if you are on the verge of taking a decision like me, taking a leap of faith and quitting your job to follow your passion. If you are in that same phase, please leave a comment below. I would love to connect with you and know your story. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you again soon with another new video. Until then, stay awesome and keep smiling. Cheers!